This is the S.J. Childs Show, hosted by S.J. Childs, streaming on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. Find us on all social medias. The S.J. Childs Show, bringing value to families through education and resources. Check us out weekly, where we'll have new and exciting guests. Thanks so much for your support. Enjoy the show. This episode is brought to you by S.J. Childs Books for Children. Visit sjchilds.org today to check out their special needs book collection. Teach inclusion and neurodiversity in this special 7-book collection. Get yours today. Sponsors include Blinky Minky Blankets, handmade double-sided Minky blankets, highest quality and craftsmanship, creating your perfect blanket for your loved one as a special forever gift. Code word the mouth for discount today. By Dana Ball Legal Services. Avoid common legal mistakes and protect your small business. Dana makes it affordable for your Utah small business to avoid common legal mistakes with business operations, contracts, and employees. Get more information today at danaballlaw.com. By Moving with Autism, a service for autism families seeking real estate and design services that provide support for their child's development and family lifestyle. Natalie Castro is a Utah autism real estate specialist and autism sibling whose mission is to connect families to community support with sensory-friendly designs and relocation services. By Elevation Chiropractic Center. Get started on your path to full health. Elevation Chiropractic Center uses the upper cervical chiropractic technique to get results by identifying and solving the root issues of your medical condition quickly and safely. Elevation Chiropractic Center, Salt Lake City, Utah. This story is brought to you by Water and Body Basics, West Valley City, Utah. Hi, welcome to the S.J. Childs Show. I'm your host, S.J. Childs, and today I have a return guest. And we're going to see what's happening, get a follow-up, what's going on with Jim Gaven. Jim, it's so great to have you here this morning. Thank you so much for being here.
Of course. Thanks for having me. It's probably been about a year since we've connected, right? So it's nice to do a little see what's going on in each other's lives, so to speak. Yeah.
And I'm excited to talk about some projects that you're working on because they're really interesting. I have an interest myself. And so hopefully we can discuss all of those things and, and see what's going on. So tell us kind of what's happened in the last year since we've seen you last.
Well, since we've touched base here last, there has been a tremendous amount of growth, which is surprising to me in some ways because, before the pandemic, right? We can kind of relate things to before the pandemic and then during the pandemic, because we're still in it, you know? And so for me, it's been really interesting to see the growth that's happened. There's been so much more one-on-one lessons that we've been able to do for adults who have developmental disabilities. Our newsletters getting passed around more often. People are spreading like our website around, which is keyofawesomemusic.com, and on Facebook and Instagram. It just seems like there's been a lot more people reaching out to me and our team rather than me reaching out to them. So that's it's been a really cool year in that respect, where I feel like I haven't had to do as much outreach as I've had to do in the past. So that's been really nice to have it more coming in and being able to say, okay, well, let's see, maybe one of my part-time contracted employees can take on these 2 people. And okay, now let's see how we can try to finagle this. Oh, maybe we don't really have the time to do this one thing. And we just say, thank you so much. We really appreciate the opportunity, but hasn't been so much as it's been over the last year, where I don't have to do all the outreach, which is weird for me because I'm so used to having to say, hey, we're over here, we're doing our thing. Like, this is what we could provide for you. Of course, we do that still a little bit, but that's been really cool to see. Our one-on-one lessons have increased. They've increased. Like right now, we support 28 individuals in one-on-one lessons.
That's fantastic. That's like one day a month.
Usually right. And it ends up being like myself, there's certain days where, there's one day I have like 12 sessions in one day. where it's just like one after the other after the other. And it's most of them are virtual, and
Yeah.
so that's been really cool to see. We've been not only that with the one-on-one lessons, but we've also, surprisingly enough, have gone into more nursing homes. There's been more needs for us to go into nursing homes and not just play songs on guitar or ukulele, but use what I have used just doing some Facebook Lives with my hung drum, which is kind of like a meditative steel drum. And so it's been really cool to go into a place and the expectation is, yeah, you could sing a few songs on guitar, but we really want to see and hear the hung drum. So that's been interesting because that's like a newer instrument for me. I've only been using that instrument for a little over a year. So that's been fun because it's more of like a holistic, therapeutic type instrument, and so it's nice to have both the guitar,
like frequency
plus
work.
That.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
So that's kind of like the short story. There's more to it, but there's been a lot of growth. It's been pretty remarkable to see. It still blows me away. I'm very humbled by it because it could have easily gone the other way.
Yeah. Oh, certainly. And we really have to, be thankful for that. I can completely understand like the first, couple times that people have reached out to me and I'm like, what? How did you find me? Right. Where did you get that information? And our autism page, our group has grown, I think, to like 750 or something, which is all word of mouth. And it's so incredible how that kind of movement can happen. It just blows me away. And I am too, so humbled by it. So yeah, that's fantastic. Now you have some other interesting projects that you kind of got into in the NFT space. Can you tell us about that stuff? I'd love to dive into that because my husband and I are really interested in getting in as well. And we have some really great ideas and stuff. So after we're done, I'll show you that. So we don't want to give everybody the draft info,
Yeah. No, I'm glad you asked. I don't usually talk about NFTs or cryptocurrency. It's not one of those things that a lot of my friends are really into. There's a couple friends I could really talk to about it, which is really cool, but I really think that cryptocurrency is the wave of the future.
Me too.
And as it pertains to saving, investing, using it like a normal monetary sort of currency, right? And NFTs to me have just been really interesting. I've been kind of watching it for a while on various social media outlets. And I'm like, you know what? I already invest in some cryptocurrency. Let me just see what this is all about, this NFT stuff. And I just started looking more into it. And it's really, you could do anything really digitally for an NFT. I mean, I've been reading, there's an article out there where this guy sold, no joke, over $1 million worth of NFTs of himself just taking selfies.
Oh my God.
So like, it's like just you getting your phone out, taking a snapshot of yourself. And I think he did it for like every day for like a year.
Okay.
So it's like the progression. That's like the progression over a year.
Which is cool.
And
I like that.
People are buying this. And it's crazy to think the guy sold over $1 million in NFTs of just selfies of himself.
That's so crazy, isn't it?
So for me, I just thought, you know what? I haven't gotten so much into artwork, I've done some sort of amateur photography myself, and I've been posting a lot of edited photographs that I've taken.
Sorry, guys. Looks like we've had a little network trouble here. There we go.
Yeah, that was weird. Sorry. Back again.
Hey, you can't trust the wave. Yeah, right.
That's all good. So what I was saying was, I've really gotten into amateur photography myself, and what I've done with the NFTs for myself that I put out there, I put 30, there's 39 that I have out there now that I've created of NFTs. And a lot of them are just digital. They're photographs that I've edited digitally that I thought would be kind of cool to have out there. And that they're kind of like a rare, like unique take on different things in nature. I'm very much a big fan of being out in nature. There's some just like sunrises and sunsets, some cool cloud formations, various things of that nature. And in addition to that, I've taken some of my album artwork and I made like a big collage of it and I signed my name on the bottom to kind of make it like just a rare thing that doesn't really exist anywhere else.
Yeah.
And to me, that's what it is like creating like a collector's item. You know, when I was growing up, I really got into baseball cards and collecting baseball cards. And so I sort of see it like that almost in a way.
Yeah, definitely. Oh,
what about
it's
you?
exciting. Yeah. And we like have a collection ready to go and everything, but we just haven't taken that next step into, to putting them on. So, and I think it's just kind of that watching things, right? Because now everything's like, so we're kind of like, okay, maybe we just wait it out just a little bit longer and see how things go. But luckily, Dustin is just analytic as they come. And so he's constantly watching things. He's constantly telling me, okay, this is going to happen next. This is going to happen. He's like my fortune teller. I'm telling you, he literally like sees into the future with these things and he can just predict out of, so many different types of numbers, what's going to happen next. And he hasn't been wrong about a lot of things. So I trust him a lot with those kinds of things. But yeah, so we're kind of dipping our toes in and hopefully, when we feel ready, we can really take that plunge, but that'll be exciting when it does. And I think it's fascinating too. And I just, like you said, think that it's kind of the way of the future. And so best to get in now than to get in at, wait for me, okay, running behind everything. So yeah, so that's really interesting. Well, I love that. And I'm so glad that things are going so well. Now I saw that you had posted about your music getting into somewhere really interesting.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
I'll be happy to. It's this is another one of those things where it's born out of my time at night after my my son and my wife go to bed, and just in an effort to get the music out there that I've written into different spaces. So I've had a bunch of my songs be put into like background in-store radio channels. So like if you were to go into like a random Stop and Shop or a Walgreens and you hear music in the background, I've had friends tell me that I have a friend that lives out in LA. I got another one that lives in Boston. And they said, dude, I went into Stop and Shop and I swore it was you. I'm like, yeah, it probably was.
That's so cool.
Because I try these different routes of reaching out to these companies that are looking for music, that don't want to pay a crazy license fee to a band like U2 or something like that. So that's where like an independent artist kind of, if you're willing to look into these different things and pitch your music, it's kind of like, I liken it to almost like winning the lottery in some way, right? Because there's a lot of music out there and there's a lot of things that you can get involved in, but it's tricky because, you're not sure who to contact. You're not sure. Every place has a different submission process. So, but at any rate, I bring all of that story into it because yes, you read that 4 instrumental albums of mine. So I've written a bunch of music that has lyrics to it, the traditional song that has vocals and everything. But I've also written a lot of songs and pieced together instrumental pieces using my iPad and my iPhone, believe it or not. And they come out pretty good sounding, and I can do the editing and mixing and mastering just using my iPad.
That's so crazy.
Or my iPhone.
Yeah.
And it's wild. And I ended up submitting a whole bunch of instrumental albums to this company that places songs onto in-flight entertainment systems. So if you go on a plane, they'll have like a playlist. And so right now, starting on March 1st, for 6 months, that's how long they run it for. 4 instrumental albums of mine will be on in-flight entertainment systems through British Airways, which is
So cool, Jim.
a massive company. I mean, like the company, and it's just wild. Like
Congratulations.
it's all been about following up with people, reaching out to them. Again, I must have pitched like 12 albums, and they chose 4, which was amazing. You know, and I'm so, again, it's one of those things that caught me off guard in the best way, because I'm never really, I never really want to assume or think, yeah, this is definitely going to happen, because, you know, as an entrepreneur, as a business person, you do deal with a lot of failure and rejection. And I've just learned to be like, all right, well, I guess they're not into it, I'll try somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's always been my mentality, is if they're not into it, I'll just try another place, and then I'll try another place. And so this is one of those things where it was just following up, reaching out, back out to them, pitching more songs. And I think sometimes it almost comes down to, okay, let's just like place this guy's song so he leaves us alone.
The squeaky wheel, right? The squeaky wheel gets the oil. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. No, I agree with that. You have to do that. I mean, you know, unfortunately, when I was writing my children's books, I must have sent my books to 75 to 100 publishers, and not one of them. Everyone said no. Nobody needs to know about special needs children's books, lady. Yes, they do. So I, you know, went onto Amazon and self-published all 7 of them, and that's fine. But I think that if I were to go back and try now, I might have maybe some different replies, only because that was like maybe 10 years ago, 8 years ago. And a lot of things have changed since then. And so maybe that would be a good goal to set. But yes, I completely get it. You don't have to stop. Like, you know, there have been people that I've reached out to that I've never heard back from, that, you know, I have invited on the show, and that's fine. You know, someday when they're like reaching out to me, can I please come back on the show now, Sarah? Right? I'll just wait for that to happen. That's too funny.
It might, no, that's the thing, is you never know. Yeah.
Isn't that the truth? Well, I'm so excited that we got to catch up with you this morning and find out what's going on. Before we go, tell us like your websites and all of the places where we can go and find all your information.
Wow, there's a lot of places. So
there is.
I'll
type them all out for you.
I'll give just a couple, because I don't want it to get too crazy. Our company website for what I do with adults who have developmental disabilities, those who have Alzheimer's and dementia, and those who have drug and alcohol addiction. Basically, that's our big niches that we're in. Yeah. You can find our website at keyofawesomemusic.com. And, you know, if you were to look up Key of Awesome Music on Facebook and Instagram, you'll find us there. We're also on Twitter at just Key Awesome Music. Someone had Key of Awesome Music, so I'm like, I'm not worrying about it. So Twitter, it's a little different, just Key Awesome Music instead of Key of Awesome Music. To listen to my original music material that I've written over the years. In fact, the 4 instrumental albums that I mentioned earlier can be found at jimgavin.bandcamp.com.
Perfect.
It's pretty much my entire catalog since I graduated college is on there.
That's amazing.
And I just put everything up there, and that includes audiobooks. So like I've written a few books that have to do with like daily quotes that I put out there. Like I call them daily music meditations. And it's like find a music quote, writing my kind of like my 2 cents on it, how you can apply it to everything. And so that includes audiobooks, instrumental albums, traditional albums that have lyrics and vocals to them. And of course, if you were to look my name up on iTunes and Spotify, you would find a lot of material there too. Excellent. But I like to try to point people to the Bandcamp page, because like everything is there and it's all visible very, very easily.
That's awesome. Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. And I'm so excited and proud of you for all of the work that you've done and are doing in the community. And I'm so, so thankful that we were able to be connected over a year ago. I can't even believe it. Thanks to Jimmy Apple, who
Yeah.
I still,
Right.
I'm sure both of us talk to all the time still. So he's amazing.
I email him. He went through a period where we did email quite a bit. He got back in touch with me a couple months ago. And we had a whole bunch of emailing back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just such an amazing guy. And you know, the funny thing is, Jim, I've never seen him. Like I've talked to him so many times, but I have no idea what he looks like, or I better go stalk his Facebook or something. That's too funny. Well, it's been such a pleasure to talk to you this morning. I'm so excited that we got to catch up with you. And yeah, we'll just keep continuing to follow your work and watch you grow with your company. And yeah, hopefully, you know, in the next year, we'll hear some more wonderful stories that have happened.
I hope so. Isn't that really what it's all about, to try to move it on a forward upwards trajectory, right? So I like
Absolutely.
advice for you too. I've seen a lot of growth coming on your end. I feel like you're really doing your thing too. So props to you. That's big time.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you so much. It's been such a journey, and you know, it's brought me to folks like you across the country and the world. And what a pleasure and an honor to be able to meet such amazing folks. So I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And we'll definitely be in touch.
This episode's sponsors include Blinky Minky Blankets, handmade double-sided minky blankets, highest quality and craftsmanship, creating your perfect blanket for your loved one as a special forever gift. Code word the mouth for discount today. By Dana Ball Legal Services. Avoid common legal mistakes and protect your small business. Dana makes it affordable for your Utah small business to avoid common legal mistakes with business operations, contracts, and employees. Get more information today at danaballlaw.com.
By Moving with Autism, a service for autism families seeking real estate and design services that provide support for their child's development and family lifestyle. Natalie Castro is a Utah autism real estate specialist and autism sibling whose mission is to connect families to community support with sensory-friendly designs and relocation services. By Elevation Chiropractic Center. Get started on your path to full health. Elevation Chiropractic Center uses the upper cervical chiropractic technique to get results by identifying and solving the root issues of your medical condition quickly and safely. Elevation Chiropractic Center, Salt Lake City, Utah. This story is brought to you by Water and Body Basics, West Valley City, Utah.